Raise the microphone. 1, 2, 1, 2, sound test. 1, 2, sound test. 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, sound test. 1, 2, 1, 2.
parliamentary prayer. Take your seats. Shall start today's proceedings with the procedural motion. From Mashaka Kalpan Gole, Chairperson, Committee on Legal Rules and Privileges.
A resolution of the Assembly to hold sittings in the United Kingdom. Provides that the meetings of the Assembly shall be held at such times and places as the Assembly may appoint. And whereas Rule 2 of the Rules of Procedure provides that the seat of the Assembly shall be at Arusha in the United Republic of Tanzania. And whereas Sub-Rule 5 of Rule 10 provides that the meetings of the Assembly shall be held at such times and places as the Assembly may appoint and shall meet at least once in every year at Arusha in the United Republic of Tanzania. And at such at a time determined by the Assembly. Now, therefore, this Assembly goes as follows. That pursuant to the conditions of Chapter 5 of the Rule 10 cited above, the Assembly shall hold its sittings in Bujumbura, the Burundi National Assembly, from 27 March 2023 up to Thursday, the 6th April 2023. Beg to vote.
Now, secondary. Honorable Makame, Honorable Burikiye, Honorable Imara, and others. I put now the question that we are Sunday, 6th Bujumbura, from 27th of March to 7th April. And those who are in favor, you say aye. those who are in opposite, they say nay. I as well.
Item number 2 on the order paper, proclamation by the speaker. Now, make the following welcome. Korea's action for the conflict the fight that of the family, they invite anyone at the front. The family that for not member of the or the of the family students or everybody is the attendance the family of the person of the family is now on your behalf, welcome, Excellency, the President of the Assam. Item number 3 on the order paper, address by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Burundi, and the Chairperson of the Summit of the EAC Heads of State, this 28th day of March 2023. Before I proceed, the program has placed on the order paper. May I invite the Honorable Ambassador, the Executive of the Minister for East African Community Affairs, Youth, Sport, and Culture, and Chairperson of the Institute of Minister, to make his Your Excellency, Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi and Chairperson of EAC Summit of Head of States, Honorable Joseph Nakarutimana, Speaker of the East African Legislative Assembly, the Right Honorable Daniel Gerard Ndabirabe, Speaker of Burundi National Assembly, Your Excellency, Honorable members of the Bureau of the National Assembly and Senate of Burundi, Your Excellency, Aimé Laurentine Kanyanda, Ombudsman of Burundi, Your Excellency, former Head of State, Honorable members of the East African Legislative Assembly, Honorable members of Burundi National Assembly and Senate, Honorable ministers, Your Excellency Dr. Peter Matuki, East African Community Secretary General, Your Lordship, Chief Justice and the President of the High Court, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, and the members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished invited guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I am greatly honored in my capacity as the chairman of the Council of Ministers to take the floor on this occasion of the third meeting of the first session of the Fifth Assembly of the East African Community held here in Bujumbura. I also take this opportunity to welcome His Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye, the President of the Republic of Burundi and the Chair of EAC Summit, who is already in our midst during the opening ceremony of this first session of the Fifth Assembly. I am indeed grateful to the Almighty God who safely led all the members of parliament who came from their countries of origin, and God has been able to protect each and everybody for them to attend to this third meeting of the first session. Blessed be His name. I am grateful to see this first session being held in the Republic of Burundi, and I am convinced that it is a good opportunity for Eala members to see how Burundi is peaceful, secure, and stable in every corner of the country. Our guests will have the opportunity to realize the legendary hospitality of the Burundian citizens, and above all, the highly significant progress already recorded in all sectors of national life. Eala gathering in this beautiful land is an opportunity for Burundian people to know and understand the role of this prestigious institution of the East African Community, of which Burundi currently holds the speakership. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Burundi and Chair of the Summit of Heads of States of our East African Community. As you know, our motto highlights that we are one people and we have one destiny. I wish to assure you that Eala and the Council of Ministers have been working together
and closely to foster our regional integration. We have always worked together to solve every wicked problem that could arise, and we always found a lasting solution. This successful experience should characterize us in our aim of improving cooperation between East African community institutions. Borrowing from Henry Ford in the book entitled The Spirit of Leaders, Dr. Miles Monroe recognized that coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress, but also working together is a success. We should therefore strive to reach together success, as no great accomplishment has ever been achieved by one individual. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Burundi, the Council of Ministers of our community is aware of the varied matters of concern Eala members have always raised. Some of them include Eala to have full autonomy, full independence, as far as financial management is concerned. Eala members have always raised the issue of having their sessions for 21 days and not for 14 days, to name a few. I want to assure Eala members that the Council is aware of all this. These are issues that are on the table of the Council of Ministers. We shall deal with them tactfully, reflecting on the best future of our community as a whole. The Council members and the Eala members, we are all of us leaders. Together, we will cherish the assertion by Gaile Bebe in his book entitled The Shaping of an Effective Leader, that, I quote, a key duty of an effective leader is to strive for the best possible economic results from the resources currently available, end of quotation. Together, we shall get a solution. If need be, we will seek guidance from our principals, as some decisions may need political guidance. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Burundi, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I once again welcome Eala members in this beautiful city and request each and every one of us to listen to the words of wisdom from our leaders, especially the distinguished speech that His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Burundi and the chair of the summit will deliver to this gathering in particular and to the East African community in general. Long live the Republic of Burundi, long live Eala, long live the East African community. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Your Excellency, Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi and Chairperson of the Summit of EA's Head of States, Right Honorable Daniel Dabirabe, Speaker of the National Assembly of Burundi, Your Excellency, honorable members, Member of Parliament of East Africa, and Burundi, Your Excellency, former Vice President of Burundi, Your Excellency, Ombudsman of Burundi, Honorable Chairperson, and Your Excellency, Ministers of Republic of Burundi, Honorable Peter Matuki, Secretary General for EAC, members of diplomatic corps, senior government officials in attendance, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, let me thank my brother, the Right Honorable Gelas Daniel Ndabirabe, the Speaker of the National Assembly of Burundi, and indeed, the entire government of the Republic of Burundi for accepting to host Eala for the entire duration of the third meeting of the first session of the Fifth Assembly. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the good reception we have received from you and your staff since last week when we first landed in Bujumbura. Allow me to congratulate you for your dedicated leadership of the National Assembly of Burundi. I duly congratulate you for this, and I am confident that under your able leadership, the Parliament of Burundi, as well as the great people of the Republic of Burundi, have continued to benefit a great deal. I continue to pay close attention to the work of National Assembly of Burundi, just like I had been doing with others parliament in the region. I'm pleased that your members, under your stewardship, continue to afford the people of Burundi the opportunities needed to understand how the parliament works, and in so doing, reap from you wise leadership. I have no doubt that under your leadership, the National Assembly of Burundi will make significant achievements, and that its role as the legislative, oversight, and representative body shall continue to be a beacon of hope for the country in particular, and East Africa at large. Over the past few days, we have discussed how Eala and the National Assembly of Burundi can forge closer working relationship for the benefit of the citizens of East Africa. We'd like to have joint activities that will see Eala and the National Assembly going out in the field to popularize the EAC and to seek their views on how best way can benefit from EAC integration. The joint activities can be a vehicle to harness, mobilize, and leverage the participation of the people of this part of East Africa in the regional integration process. Excellency, our two parliaments can indeed learn from each other and build and strengthen ties so that to reinforce the community. The Eala and the National Assembly of Burundi share similar roles and therefore have related mandate and function. This very gesture of accommodating Eala at the seat of the National Assembly of Burundi gives a strong message of cordiality and one of poor friendship. The Eala is grateful for the spirit of friendship and looks forward to strengthening and solidifying the relations even further. I extend to you my unreserved support and wish you every success in the coming years. With these few remarks, I now take this opportunity to invite my friend and colleague, the Right Honorable Gelas Ndabirabe, Speaker of the National Assembly of Burundi, to make his remarks. You are welcome.
Excellences, Monsieur le Président de la République du Burundi, très honorable Président de l'Assemblée législative de la communauté est-africaine, honorables membres des bureaux du Parlement du Burundi, honorables parlementaires, Madame l'Ombudsman, Mesdames, Messieurs les ministres ayant en charge les affaires de la communauté est-africaine, Mesdames, Messieurs les membres du gouvernement de la République du Burundi, Monsieur le secrétaire général de l'East African Community, Mesdames, Messieurs les représentants des missions diplomatiques et consulaires accréditées au Burundi, Mesdames, Messieurs les représentants des organisations internationales, distingués invités, tout protocole observé, Mesdames, Messieurs. C'est un honneur et un réel plaisir pour le Parlement du Burundi de faciliter la tenue de la première réunion de la première session de la 5e Assemblée de l'Assemblée législative de la communauté est-africaine. Nous remercions le Seigneur notre Dieu pour toutes les grâces dont il ne cesse de nous combler et pour son accompagnement dans l'exercice de nos fonctions respectives. Au nom du Parlement du Burundi, de nos collègues parlementaires et à notre nom propre, permettez-nous de souhaiter la bienvenue au Palais des Congrès de Kigobe à son Excellence Evariste Ndayishimiye, président de la République du Burundi et président en exercice de la communauté est-africaine. Excellence, Monsieur le Président, votre présence dans cette séance, en dépit de votre agenda très chargé, prouve l'intérêt particulier que vous accordez aux travaux de l'Assemblée législative de la communauté est-africaine. Nous vous en sommes reconnaissants. Nous voudrions également souhaiter la bienvenue au Burundi au très honorable Joseph Nakarutimana, président de l'Eala, ainsi qu'à tous les honorables parlementaires de l'East Africa Community. Vous êtes chez vous ici, au Burundi, et dans cet hémicycle de l'Assemblée nationale de la République du Burundi. Nous souhaitons en outre la bienvenue à tous nos invités de marque qui ont accepté de venir partager notre joie d'accueillir sur le territoire du Burundi les représentants des peuples des pays partenaires au sein de l'East Africa Community. Excellence, Monsieur le Président de la République du Burundi, honorables parlementaires, distingués invités, Mesdames, Messieurs, le Parlement du Burundi qualifie l'Eala de l'éclaireur et de cadre d'essai de la démocratie et d'acteur incontournable dans la promotion de la bonne gouvernance et du bien-être des peuples de l'Afrique de l'Est. L'Eala constitue également un espace de dialogue et un excellent mécanisme de diplomatie parlementaire au sein de notre communauté. La représentation des peuples au niveau régional est importante car elle permet d'exprimer leurs opinions sur les décisions qui ont un impact sur la vie sociale au sein des pays partenaires. Le Parlement du Burundi estime que le traité portant création de la communauté est-africaine devrait être amendé pour pouvoir s'ajuster à la réalité du moment. Le Parlement du Burundi souhaite aussi que le canal de collaboration entre l'Eala et les parlements des pays partenaires soit plus direct afin de consolider leurs liens d'amitié et de coopération. Ce rapprochement permettra à nos populations respectives de mieux profiter des dividendes qui émanent de l'Eala. Nous sommes conscients qu'il y a des défis à relever. Toutefois, nous avons la conviction que l'Eala va poursuivre l'accomplissement de sa mission avec succès. Pour sa part, le Parlement de la République du Burundi ne ménagera aucun effort pour maintenir un excellent climat d'échange avec l'Eala. En ce qui concerne la tenue sur le sol burundais des présentes assises, nous rassurons à nos homologues parlementaires de l'Eala que nous accordons la plus grande attention à leurs travaux afin qu'ils se déroulent dans de très bonnes conditions tout en poursuivant nos activités durant cette période de processus budgétaire. De même, nous faisons tout le nécessaire pour que leur séjour soit aussi fructueux qu'agréable. C'est avec cette promesse que nous souhaitons plein succès à la première réunion de la première session de la 5e Assemblée de l'Assemblée législative de la communauté est-africaine. Que Dieu vous garde. Nous vous remercions.
Your Excellency, Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi and the chairperson of the summit of the EAC Head of States, Right Honorable Vedas Ndabirabe, Speaker of National Assembly of Burundi, Honorable Chairperson of the EAC Council of Ministers and members of the EAC Council, senior government officials in attendance, Honorable Dr. Peter Matuki, the Secretary General of the East African Community, honorable members of East African Ladies Assembly and the National Assembly of Burundi, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to welcome you, Your Excellency, to the third meeting of the first session of the 50th Assembly, which commenced yesterday here in this beautiful city of Bujumbura. On the outset, I take this singular opportunity on behalf of the members of Eala and on my own behalf to bring you very warm greetings from the people of East Africa. We, the Fifth Assembly, we are extremely grateful for being accorded this opportunity to meet here in Bujumbura and interact with our sisters and brothers from this part of East Africa. We sincerely thank you for promptly responding to our invitation and your acceptance to address us. Your Excellency, permit me to quickly bring to your attention the business that is lined up for debate by this Assembly during this meeting. The Assembly looks forward to debate and pass the East African Community Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023 to undertake the first reading of East Africa Standardization, Accreditation, and Conformity Assessment Bill 2023, to consider motions seeking leave to introduce private members' bill, and to consider various committee reports. Your Excellency, since its inauguration in December 2022, the 50th Assembly has embarked on its mandate with renewed spirit. The inauguration also served as an opportunity to bring on board our brothers and sisters from the Democratic Republic of Congo, which sent 9 members of parliament to join us. Along with this new addition came the need to urgently amend the treaty to introduce French as a language of East African community. The Assembly is, however, mindful that the 21st Summit of EAC Head of State adopted Kiswahili and French as official languages of the community. It is also imperative that all efforts are made to ensure that the use of these 2 languages becomes a reality. Your Excellency, I want to acknowledge, through your leadership, the strong leading role being played by the Republic of Burundi in supporting peace missions on the continent, particularly in Somalia, Central African Republic, and now in DRC. I salute you as the chairperson of the EAC Summit for your bold efforts in supporting the African Union mandated Nairobi peace process in restoring peace in DRC. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed. Indeed, have been proven as good tests of our region's resilience and ability to respond to violence in the region. Through you, the Assembly would like to see the EAC Head of State continue to seek a permanent solution to the conflict of the Republic of Congo. Your Excellency, in this exciting time of integration, we remain committed to maintaining, if not improving, the speed at which integration has been taking place. We want to thank you as our chair of the summit for the speed at which you are steering the implementation of the customs union, the common market, as we look forward to the conclusion of the Monetary Union Institute and the political federation. Your Excellency, before I conclude, allow me to introduce my colleagues, Member of Parliament of Eala. I'll be calling the chapters and they'll be standing up and just salute. Let's start by chapter 1, DRC. Thank you. Burundi chapter. Thank you, Kenya chapter. Thank you, Rwanda chapter. Thank you, South Sudan chapter. Thank you, Uganda chapter. And Tanzania chapter. Thank you. Your Excellency, allow me to point out a few of the challenges we face as East Africa. One is the financing mechanism, which has limited funding the EAC, the delayed autonomy of Eala and court, distribution of organs and institutions, delay in amending the treaty. We seek your support. We seek your support to discuss the matters with your colleagues. Lastly, Your Excellency, I wish on behalf of the Assembly to extend our appreciation to you and your government for continuing to steer the Republic of Burundi to greater heights. Burundi is now a peaceful country. May I also congratulate the Republic of Burundi for sending to Eala a team of dedicated and committed members. Without taking up more time, it is now my great pleasure and honor to welcome Your Excellency to address this August Assembly today, Tuesday, 28th March 2023. I thank you for your kind attention.
The right Honorable Joseph Ntakarutimana, Speaker of East African Legislative Assembly, the right Honorable Daniel Geraza Ndabirabe, President of National Assembly, Honorable members of Bureau of the National Assembly and the Senate of Burundi, Your Excellency Emerald Kanyana, Ombudsman of the Republic of Burundi, Your Excellency Sylvestre Ntibantunganya, former Head of State of Burundi, Honorable Member of the East African Legislative Assembly, Honorables, Member of Burundi National Assembly and the Senate, Honorable Minister of East African Community Affairs, Youth, Sport, and the Culture of the Republic of Burundi, and the Chairperson of the Council of Ministers, Honorable Minister and the senior government officials, Your Excellency, Dr. Peter Matuki, Secretary General of East African Community, Your Lordship, the Chief of Justice, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors, and the High Commission, and the member of Diplomatic Corps, distinguished invited guests, member of press, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. First of all, let me thank Almighty God who has granted us this beautiful day and who has allowed us this sitting of the East African Legislative Assembly taking place in Bujumbura, Republic of Burundi. Excellencies, I'm very pleased to address this assembly this morning at the official opening of the third meeting of the first session of the East African Legislative Assembly to take place as from the 26th March to 7 April 2023. On behalf of the people and the government of the Republic of Burundi, and on my own behalf, I cordially welcome you to Bujumbura, economic capital of Burundi. I wish you to feel at home and enjoy the beauty and the hospitality of our country during your stay here in Bujumbura. I wish as well to extend my warm congratulations to the East African Legislative Assembly Speaker and the members upon your election to the 5th East African Legislative Assembly and for the successful swearing in ceremony. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to highly appreciate the role of East African Legislative Assembly in facilitating the integration process and the ownership of decisions taken within the community. The East African Legislative Assembly has a cardinal function in the progress of community objectives that encompasses the legislative, representative, and oversight mandate. In this respect, the achievement made so far would not have been possible without an understanding, vision, and the leadership of the members of the East African Legislative Assembly. New developments have emerged since Eala last visited Burundi in 2016 during its plenary. East African Legislative Assembly has grown bigger as South Sudan and DRC became full member of East African Community. In addition to that, other countries have already expressed the will to integrate our community, in particular Somalia, which has already made the official request. We can rejoice that East African community is expanding for the better future of our community. During the last 10 years, tremendous achievements have been made in terms of representing all our people, legislating, planning, the East African Community Program and the budget, providing oversight in many East African community activities, as well as strengthening the bonds between the East African Legislative Assembly and the national parliaments of the East African Community partner states. Along the same line, we appreciate that the Honorable Speaker has developed a good work method for implementing the treaty establishing the East African Community. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Since its creation, the East African Community makes constant progress. However, there is still ample room for improvement. There is a need for more commitment and action, for better integration, peace, stability, and especially focusing more on result-based program and management. Many issues are still to be solved and many challenges to be addressed. And as you know, the voice of an elected people's representative plays a key role. We are confident that together we shall bring the East African community closer to the people, and that the East African citizens will definitely, through their direct involvement, benefit from and reap the fruit of regional integration. There are key important areas which East African community can improve to support summit initiative and in timely manner, such as A, the summit initiative on peace and security in DRC, and ultimately in our East African partners. In this regard, I'd like to thank all the head of states of East African community member states who are committed to help East DRC to recover peace. And also I congratulate the former president, Uhuru, who is working very hard so that we can recover peace in East Africa, in East DRC. The summit initiative on is B, the summit initiative on alternative funding for the East African community. C, the summit initiative on adopting French and Swahili as the alternate official language of the community alongside English. D, summit initiative on the free movement of goods, services, and people, and work to eliminate or reduce no-tariff barriers which affect trade and leads to trade imbalance amongst our partner states. E, summit initiative on how to enhance cross-border security. F, summit initiative on East African community infrastructures, summit and communicate. J, summit initiative on protection of ASC natural resources, such as minerals, oil, and its transportation within the region. H, summit initiative on poverty eradication, among others. Excellencies, we must work hard to address factors that limit or constrain the construction of a larger East African community internal market in order to increase the share in global trade and economy. This, however, calls for constant oversight of the East African project program and policies. For this to effectively happen and in a timely manner, East African Legislative Assembly, being the elected representatives institution amongst organs and institutions of the community that need to be fully facilitated to play its oversight role for both the Council of Ministers and the Secretary General in order to make sound recommendations. The Council of Ministers should have required resources to allow for the committees to have sufficient days of work and to fund activities such as public hearings, consideration of key integration bills, and sensitization activities. The Council of Ministers and the Secretary General should be available for regular updates on progress made so that the members can make informed recommendations. Outreach and sensitization is important for visibility and better understanding of the community because it takes East African community to citizens, and this can even be more effective and efficient if it is done together with national parliaments. This will definitely require more resources for the East African Legislative Assembly to operate. Honorable speakers, honorable members, excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Honored by the last African Union Heads of State Summit to be the champion of the Youth, Peace and Security Program of the African Union, it is appropriate for me to record that we cannot achieve our development objectives without centering our strategies on youth, who constitute the largest part of the population of our driving force. The empowerment of youth impacts the stabilization of peace because there is no peace when there is no bread. We must invest in youth by creating the bright future from now. As a member of East African Legislative Assembly, you are very qualified to help us to sensitize and mobilize East Africans, the regional private sectors, and civil society to work for peace, which is a prerequisite for investment and the socio-economic development. For 2 weeks, this third meeting is the first session of the 5th East African Legislative Assembly. Will be sitting on a heavy agenda. I am informed that this session shall deliberate both in the plenary and in the standing committees. We shall spare no effort to play our role in order to achieve the objectives of East African community. Excellencies, before I conclude, I wish to reiterate Burundi's commitment to East African community for integration for a united, peaceful, and prosperous region. With this remark, it is now my pleasure to now declare that the third meeting of the first session of Fifth Assembly is officially opened. I wish you fruitful deliberations and hope that next sittings will come back to Burundi. Long life to the East African community, long life to East African Legislative Assembly. God bless you. Asante sana.
We'll proceed to item number 4 on the order paper. It will be a vote of thanks to His Excellency.
Honorable Ambassador Fatuma Ndangiza.
Your Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye, the President of the Republic of Burundi and the Chairperson of the EAC Summit of Heads of State. The Right Honorable Gelasi Daniel Ndabireba, the Speaker of the National Assembly of Burundi, honorable members of the Bureau of the Senate of the National Assembly and the National Assembly of Burundi, the Right Honorable Speaker of the East African Legislative Assembly, Honorable Dr. Ezekiel Nibigira, Chairperson, EAC Council of Ministers, Honorable Peter Mathuki, Secretary General of the East African Community, Honorable members of the Burundi National Assembly, His Excellency Silvestre Ntibantunganya, the former President of the Republic of Burundi, Her Excellency Ombudsperson of the Republic of Burundi, Honorable and Your Excellency, thank you for appointing a lady. We are proud that there are so many ladies to high position in the Republic of Burundi. Honorable cabinet members of Burundi and senior government officials, honorable colleague members of Eala, honorable former members of Eala, Fourth Assembly, members of the diplomatic and international organizations, Your Lordship, the Chief Justice, members of the civil society, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Habari ya asubuhi au ya mchana. Na mahoro bavandimwe b'u Burundi. I would like to request my brothers and sisters from Eala, after the very brilliant speech by His Excellency the President that addressed most of the issues that affect the Assembly, I would like to request you to give him another Warm applause. Thank you very much. On behalf of the members of the East African Legislative Assembly, I wish to express our profound gratitude to His Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye, the President of the Republic of Burundi and Chairperson of the Summit of the EAC Heads of State, for gracing this historic occasion despite your busy state duties. We also extend our appreciation to the government of Burundi for hosting the first plenary of Eala 5 and for the warm hospitality accorded to us since you arrived in this beautiful city of Bujumbura. On a special note, I would like to thank the Parliament of Burundi for the existing cordial relations with Eala and for availing its premises to Eala so that we can discharge our duties while we are here in Bujumbura. I wish to congratulate you, Your Excellency, for your steward leadership ever since you were elected to chair the EAC Heads of Summit. Your Excellency, your focus on peace and security and regional cooperation, in particular, following up and ensuring that there is stability in the Eastern DRC, is a very important initiative that has to be commended. We also thank you, Your Excellency, for also promoting regional cooperation, which is critical to good neighborliness. And in particular, coming from the Republic of Rwanda, I know what it means, because your commitment to reviving, together with your brother, His Excellency President Kagame of Rwanda, to ensure that we normalize relations, has now allowed the borders like Ruhwa to open and allowing the free movement of our people and doing business in the region. So Your Excellency, we really thank you for the bold initiative. The recent election of Burundi to the AU Peace and Security Council, your appointment as the AU champion for youth, peace, and security agenda in Africa, just to mention but a few, are testimonies of your commitment to peace and prosperity of Africa based on inclusive and sustainable development. Under your visionary leadership, Burundi is dedicated to socio-economic transformation, including in areas such as agriculture, domestic and infrastructure development, including the promotion of the central standard gauge railway that runs from Dar es Salaam, goes through up to Isaka, connecting Rwanda, but also connecting Burundi through Msongati and later DRC. And Excellency, we really commend you for this initiative because infrastructure is critical to connecting our peoples to do trade in the region. Your Excellency, Eala, as people's representatives, by holding plenary session in our partner states, and this time around in Burundi, accords us an opportunity to interact with citizens and various stakeholders and bringing the assembly and the community closer to citizens. It also reminds us about our brotherhood and creates bonds of friendship and solidarity in the spirit of our motto, one people, one destiny. We believe that what binds us as East Africans is far greater than what differentiates us. Here, when you look at the ladies from Burundi wearing umushanana and the ladies from Rwanda, it's difficult to know who is who. And when we were in the Republic of South Sudan, they also wear mushanana. But I also know that in the parts of Ankole, in the western part of Uganda, but also in Kabale, women there also wear mushanana. So this shows really that you are one people. It's a question of boundaries that were put there by the colonialists, but we are one people. And through EAC integration, we need to rediscover who we are and demystify the division. We know that being here, Your Excellency, is key to promoting our unity and diversity as we strive for attaining EAC vision of a united, secure, peaceful, and prosperous community. It is also important to note that the East African community, just like other regional economic communities, are building blocks to African Union integration. We wish to also congratulate the Republic of Burundi for assuming the speakership of Eala 5 with the recent election of the current speaker, Right Honorable Joseph Ntakirutimana, which is a clear demonstration of the trust and confidence the members of the community, members, representatives have in him, and in particular, the leadership of the Republic of Burundi. We assure you, Excellency, our continued support to our speaker as he steers the Assembly to greater heights. Your Excellency, the President, allow me to bring to your attention a few structural challenges our Assembly is grappling with. I know many have touched on them. In Kirundi and Kinyarwanda, they say, Nyakubahwa waryoha asubiwamo. So it's good to repeat sometimes for emphasis. So the first challenge, as already alluded to, is the issue of funding. Your Excellency, the community of East Africa is growing, both in membership. In 2000, we had only 3 East African countries, Uganda, Kenya, and United Republic of Tanzania. As we speak today, we have 7 partner states. And that also implies that we are covering a population of close to 300 million people. So as people's representatives, we have to traverse across the region to sensitize the community about EAC and Eala's work. But Excellency, if you would know that today, we are only holding 4 plenaries, and the plenary is 14 days. So if you times 4, that means it's only 56 days in a year, and yet you are paid as members of parliament to serve East Africa the entire year. So for over 205 days, we are just seated at home in a holiday. We say, no, we are here to work. So Your Excellency, through your leadership, as a person who is really passionate about people's representatives, as the chairperson of the summit, we kindly request you that you look into this matter so that Eala is fully facilitated, that at least we can have 6 plenaries of 21 days, at least 126 days, and then we can rest, or not even resting, through the committees, as you rightly said, Your Excellency, at least 7 days per committee for 4 activities. And then we shall know that we are truly serving the peoples of East Africa in discharging our core mandate of passing legislation, for fast-tracking integration, of representing our people, and also of holding our governments accountable. There is also need for partner states to ensure timely remittance of the annual contribution and expediting the establishment of sustainable funding mechanism. Your Excellency, we are happy that the summit have taken up this issue. We wish you could use the approach the African Union used, where the summit member is the one who leads on sustainable funding mechanism. We believe leadership at that level will help us achieve sustainable funding mechanism as a community. There is also the issue that has already been talked about, the administrative and financial autonomy. Again, Your Excellency, just one example. As we speak here, because Eala doesn't have the autonomy to hire its staff, the speaker right now doesn't have a personal assistant. Sorry, those are details, but that shows you. So he has to carry files everywhere he goes, because the hiring of personal assistants has to go to the Council of Ministers. And that has also really made it difficult for Eala to work, to be able to hire its staff, to be able to manage its funds, but also to have the capacity of mobilizing its resources. Finally, Your Excellency, the President, the issue of treaty amendment was also talked about. We think this is urgent. The treaty was enacted when there were only three partner states. Principles of consensus and quorum were easy by that time, but it might be difficult when you are 7, and in future probably 8. The issue of language that was talked about, and many other areas. So these are the reasons why we believe that this has to be fast-tracked, and with your leadership, Your Excellency, this will be very easy. Your Excellency, we also have a challenge of the delaying of assent of EAC bills. We take a lot of time to pass bills, but when they come to the attention of the summit, very few of these bills, in particular the private member bills, in most cases are not passed, and yet they would change the livelihoods of our people. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic, I'm delighted to recognize the presence of our former 4th Eala colleagues from the Republic of Burundi, who successfully concluded their tour of duty, and we do hope they will continue serving this great nation in various capacities. As I conclude, Your Excellency, I wish to reiterate our commitment to delivering on the East African Legislative Assembly cardinal function in furthering EAC objectives through its legislative, representative, and oversight mandate. I take this opportunity to thank you once again, Your Excellency, for your unwavering support and commitment to EAC integration, and appeal to you as the chairperson of the EAC Summit of Heads of State to assist Eala in addressing the pending challenges, thereby enabling the Assembly to effectively deliver on its mandate. The EAC address, Your Excellency, you have eloquently delivered, will guide our plenary, and we shall have time to debate on this very important address. Let me conclude by saying once again, let's strive to build a community of one people and one destiny. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Honorable. We are now reaching the end. But before I adjourn this activity, we will have a photo with His Excellency, the President of the Republic, at the entrance of this house. We also have a cocktail in the main hall of this house. I adjourn this meeting for Tuesday, 4th of April at 2:30 p.m.
The anthems in reverse order, stand up for the anthems.
you.